8:40 exactly on News and Views right here at Salam Media. Next, we'll be talking with Ayesha Fakude. She is a fellow at Africa-Asia Dialogues to answer the question, is Taiwan on the brink of being colonized for the seventh time? Ayesha, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program.
Walaikum salam. Thank you for having me.
Lovely to have you on the show. Obviously, Taiwan, the citizenry of Taiwan are not very happy people right now. For the seventh time in history, going right back to the 1600s, this little country has been colonized over and over and over again, not only by Chinese dynasties, but by Westerners as well, like the Spanish, etc. What's the situation looking like currently? The Spanish and the Dutch were also colonized that part of the world. So currently, what are we seeing playing out?
Well, currently China is making a large push towards Taiwan. Previously, I think Taiwan had little backing from the international community, but right now China is pushing their military might. They're having air warfare, not necessarily air warfare, but they're invading Taiwan's airspace quite a bit, trying to intimidate Taiwan into backing down and accepting China's demands.
So they wanting to, according to them, claim back what belongs to them, that is China. They are claiming that Taiwan belongs to them. Taiwanese want self-rule. They're not having any of this. How do you think this is going to play out?
I guess it's just a waiting game. We have to just wait and see. However, with Taiwan's President Tsai, this is her second term, first female president in Taiwan. She is holding her ground. She's standing strong. Her ruling party is incredibly anti-Beijing. I think Taiwan for now are trying to wait for the elections in 2024, hoping that the opposition party who is pro-Beijing would come into power. And I think that would make things a lot more easier for China.
When we look at mainland China, in essence, China was a colony itself way back in the day, very similar to India by the British Empire. Obviously, the Manchu people ruled Taiwan differently from China, and history tells us that Taiwan's rule was loose, minimal, and partial. So I'm wondering, with China being a communist state, God forbid they don't take over Taiwan, but should they then take over Taiwan, there's going to be huge changes, huge repercussion for the Taiwanese people. And unlike Hong Kong, when China started its efforts in taking over Hong Kong, a lot of the UK and the United States opened up their doors to Hong Kong residents. Where would the Taiwanese people go? To those who will not want to be ruled under communist law?
I think for now, China has done a really good job of keeping Taiwan isolated from the rest of the world. They have not included them in the UN. They've tried not to include them in a lot of economic projects or economic parties internationally. However, I do think the neighboring islands, mainly Japan, South Korea, etc., would allow the Taiwanese in, because if China were to take over Taiwan, that would open up the rest of Southeast Asia to communist invasion.
Absolutely, and that's not what the rest of the world or the neighbors of Taiwan would like to see. Do you think any European countries would perhaps get involved in negotiations and the aid of Taiwan from being taken over by the Chinese authorities?
I think perhaps if the USA uses their weight, they could use some of the help from their allies. However, for now, Taiwan is majorly backed by the USA, and I think that's a major power. They might not need Europe. However, perhaps the USA's allies.
Okay, so for now it's wait, watch, and see what happens, and we will be keeping our eye open on that situation, and hopefully talk to you again as the political landscape changes or develops. We will touch sides with you. Ayesha Fakude, fellow at Africa-Asia Dialogues, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
8:45 exactly. In a minute or two, we're going to be talking about something pretty horrific. That's all I can, think of labeling it as. It is horrific. It is about obstetric violence, a war being waged against women in the shadows. And by whom? By whom? By healthcare professionals. So stay with us. We'll be talking with attorney Sheena Swimmer. She's an activist and a gender researcher. She's at Wits University.
Osman's Taj Mahal Spice and Rice for